Hey dreamers, this is Anisha Jennings, a fellow immigrant and an entrepreneur. From being an engineer in India to building my tech business in the US, I've lived the journey you're on. Welcome to Your American Dream podcast, where we turn immigrant challenges into superpowers. Are you feeling out of place, struggling with a job hunt, or simply missing home? I've been there, and I'm here to guide you through it. In each episode, we'll dive into real stories, practical advice, and mindset that will help you write your unique success story. From navigating cultural differences to building a purposeful life, I've got you covered. So if you're ready to turn your immigrant experience into your greatest strength, let's dive in. Your American dream starts now. Welcome to Your American Dream. I'm Anisha Jennings, and today I'm honored to welcome Blanca, owner and CEO of Wounded Healer LLC. Blanca is a TEDx speaker, storyteller, educator, licensed massage therapist, canine massage therapist, group fitness instructor, and best selling co author. She has devoted her life's work to helping individuals heal from untreated childhood trauma and discover that meaningful transformation is possible through intentional change. Welcome, Blanca. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me here, Anisha. It is my honor to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about your journey from, where you started to where you're at now.
Oh, absolutely. I am Puerto Rican from Puerto Rican parents, born in New York City, raised in Puerto Rico. My father, well, both parents, they were part of the big American dream back in the late 1950s, early 1960s. There was a huge move of Puerto Ricans to the US in search for a better life and for better opportunities. And that's exactly what my parents did. They moved to New York City, and with very hard work and dedication, they actually conquered the American dream. My father was owner of three different businesses in New York City, and then tragedy stroke. His life was taken in it hit and his work at his business. Actually, he had a jewelry store. So yes, that happened, and it really transformed all of our lives after that. So yes, definitely his sudden passing transformed everything. From my mother, she had chronic untreated mental illness for most of her entire lifetime. These were the years. It was back in the early 1970s, and all of those years and way before that, mental illness was always seen as is the end of your life. You cannot speak about it, you cannot talk about it, because it was definitely a big taboo back in those days. So I live in Puerto Rico I was raised there, and part of growing up with a parent that has mental illness is a lot of instability, actually. So there was a lot of emotional and mental instability. My mother, unfortunately, it took the best of her. My mom is a very, very good lady. She's 95 years old right now with advanced stages of dementia, and it's tough to see where her journey has taken her, unfortunately. And but with my mother, I had a lot of childhood trauma, and it wasn't
Hmm.
only from her, it was the surrounding of my father's death. It was the years when a little kid doesn't really understand, and
Right.
definitely we were portrayed that way. I'm the
Mm.
youngest of three siblings, so being around that environment definitely defined much of what I did in my younger years, which was being a very insecure, lonely, confused child after her favorite person's passing. So with my mother, she grew up in an environment of silence as well, in an environment of extreme poverty. Actually, my mother used to go barefooted to school. So the passing of all of those years with her own story, definitely it created more generational trauma. And I mean, many of us really grow around that. And I believe that silence was like the biggest lesson in my life. Speaking about silence and not speaking about anything, speaking about silence and staying silent with so many things. So that definitely defined me. And it really took me in the mission of helping others, no matter what age. When
Right.
I was younger, I was in very dark seasons in my life, but still, I believe that there was something more for me, that there was something bigger than me, even when I didn't really comprehend at that time, that will take me to where I am today. Being here in this podcast with you today is a
Yeah.
very, the turn of events and the circles that life gives us is really, really amazing. And coming from my father's American dream that he conquered and then he lost his life over conquering that dream,
Right.
it really has taken me to a place where it's like, okay, these are important things to tell people because it doesn't matter which generation it is. I'm the next generation, but I am not the younger generation anymore. You are the younger
Mm.
generation. My daughter is the younger generation. And with the stories that we can tell to people, especially in these very important, powerful platforms that can go to so many, it's very
Absolutely.
important to share. It's very important to share where I came from and where I am. And thanks to the lessons learned from all of this darker seasons, childhood trauma, whatever the case may be, it took me to be a licensed massage therapist. It took me to break my silence and be a co-author of a book. And then with that book, it took me straight to be a speaker, straight to TEDx. So it's pretty amazing, this journey of mine. And I cannot wait to see what's happening next. That's for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much for, so calmly sharing your story and being here to share that your journey and inspire others. So you said that, the childhood trauma impacted you and then it changed you. How did
Mhm.
you take that and, turn it into a tool that now you're using to help others? Like, what were the influences in your life and how did you use that situation and just rise from it?
So, what I can tell you is that I came from a place, and not only my parents, but other family members, from a place that where people help other people.
Hmm.
And with especially with my mom, my father unfortunately wasn't long that much, but his influence definitely was pivotal in understanding that no matter where you come from, you can always help someone, be better, do better, and giving them those chances, really definitely seeing it with my own eyes, with my father, with my mother, that even, I mean, they had abundance, but they shared that abundance because they know where they came from. They never forgot the roots, both of my parents. So it's like, okay, we're gonna help someone. And my father had, he had three businesses, so he helped people that were struggling, that they're trying, as I mean, like he did. He helped a lot of people that were struggling to make it better for themselves. And seeing that with my own eyes, I started by helping animals by feeding the cats ice cream when my parents said, no, don't feed the cat. And I went ahead and fed the cat. I'm a canine massage therapist as well. So my love for animals has taken me into not only feeding the animals, loving them, saying hi beauty to every and single animal. It took me to literally helping animals in need by performing massage on them. And then I always had that helping spirit. Definitely. Not only on helping the animals, my parents instilling that saw kindness. Even though I grew up in a very difficult environment, still my mom, when she wasn't in one of her many crises, still she showed the essence of the good lady that in my experience with her through so many years, I can see it even more now in the state that she is at. Everybody is
Wow.
capable of change. Everybody is capable of forgiving because if you don't forgive, you won't be able to move on in life and help others genuinely from the heart with
For
with
sure.
with your full authentic self. And I believe that helping others helps me
Yes.
definitely. And in my journey of being the wounded healer that I am, definitely I keep on learning from the outside, and it helps me learn that when we are recovering from childhood trauma, especially childhood trauma, and especially being in silence like I did for so many years, this recovery process and this healing process is for the rest of our lives. And it's
Yes.
very important that people know. But if part of this healing journey, it takes me to helping others with my story, it's very empowering for me. And I'm very grateful to be able to speak for so many voices that are still silent to this day. It's very important.
For sure, for sure. So many people don't realize that, childhood trauma affects you in your adulthood too. What do you think are some long term impacts that people may overlook?
So I can share with you what I overlook in this journey of being silent, of growing up in an environment of you don't talk
Anything.
about dead, you don't talk about awful things. That's what I understood. And when I am a survivor of sexual violence, so I can tell you this, in that shame and fear that I had for so many years about speaking about my story, it took me to many dark places. That is for sure. It took me to numb myself with alcohol and numb myself with drugs, many, many drugs for many years. Definitely. It took me to a downhill spiral, and it was a circle, a never ending circle. It's very redundant. It's very, it's self destructive. So coming from where I come, that I have used, I mean, self destruction was the first thing that I relied to in my
Yeah.
teens, 20s, and even my early 30s. Definitely, I thought that I had everything under control because I still went to school. I still had a job and all of these stuff. I still had a pretty much independent life. But in the inside, I was always living a life of quiet desperation. And I believe that there's so many people out there, so many people, even in my own family, that still live lives of quiet desperation, even into their elder years. Okay. My own mother lived a life of quiet desperation because she thought that taking care of herself with her mental illness there was something deeply wrong and that she couldn't be a functional person. And guess what? Mental illness happens to many, many millions of people around. Myself, out of my childhood trauma, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay. So
Mm,
it's very deeply rooted because of my silence of so many years. But then, I mean, along that very dark path, so to speak, there are always beautiful times, there's beautiful memories, beautiful moments. So this is why we're still here. It's why I'm still here because not all the time was a world of eternal darkness. Okay.
right.
I survived. I was in surviving mode for all of those years until I went to school for massage therapy in my late 30s. By the way, I
Wow.
had two kids already. So it was something with my kids, especially with my kids. It became a mission that it was kind of like bigger than myself. And this mission is bigger than myself. It became that. It transitioned into that over the years. And I can tell you this because for all of the people that keep on aging and say it's like, oh, I am too old to try to improve my life. I am obsolete because
Wow.
I'm in my 40s, because in my 50s, it's like, guess what? When I finally broke my silence, I was 52 years old. Okay,
Wow.
I'm 60 now. All right. So it took me 43 years of silence to understand that staying silent, is really not conducive if I want to do something better with my pain and let the pain become a purpose as much as possible because the dark moments are still there, the triggers are still there, but what tools to pick up to make the triggers go away as quickly as possible? That's another story. All right.
Yes.
And this moment right here of speaking up
Right.
and try to help others through my voice and my story, that means the world to me. Okay. And it's not for attention because I don't give a shit about attention. All right. It's for something bigger than myself. And I know that I know it in my heart that right now I'm speaking for so many out there that are still silenced because I was that silent. So
Yeah.
I know where you all come from, and I feel you and I hear you, and I stand by all of them out there, definitely. And I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for the growth. I'm grateful to become a professional about it and speak to the masses about
Yes.
these very important vital conversations, especially in such chaotic times that we're living right now, especially with us women out there, that we are in such a fragile state. It's like, don't be, I mean, no, be the warrior in in this chaos. Be your own warrior and make up your mind and freaking
Yes.
win. Because we have the power to be winners here, no matter the atrocities, no matter the hurdles, no matter where others think that they can put us. We're still women of power. We're badasses and we're here to stay. Okay. Us, you don't exist. Ka-ching. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for sharing.
I think I went off topic here.
It's like from what you said about you being silent, and now you're like so bold. You're speaking up. You're telling people about your story. You're sharing things and tools that will help others. How did you come out of it, and how did you create the Wounded Healer?
All right. So to make that journey to the other side of my silence, I confronted myself. And that was the hardest part. That was the darkest space. We are in the obligation to put ourselves in that very dark space because I needed to go in a place of self-reflection and self-forgiveness, forgiving myself for all the actions, forgiving myself for keeping quiet, forgiving myself. I mean, it was a place of forgiving the woman right in front of me and forgiving, I mean, and the woman here asking for forgiveness to my 9-year-old, to my 12-year-old, to my 14-year-old, to the 20 some or the 30, the 40, because it never stopped. It never stopped. And yeah, I asked a lot of forgiveness for the silence and in a big way enabling the attackers because of my silence. And yeah, that is powerful. That is dark. It's a very difficult place to go to. I would say don't do it alone. I to this day I go to counseling and I love my counselor. She is amazing because you know what? This is why the professionals are there. And especially, coming from a place where I have been that I really thought that I could do everything on my own, everything. And the bottom line, the rooting of me thinking in my ignorance that I could do everything alone is low self-esteem and low self-worth. I thought for a long time that I was not worthy of anybody's helping, of anybody's support, of anybody. I didn't feel that I was worth anybody giving me a hug and telling me that it was going to be okay. I mean, I really was in that place.
Wow.
And then I became a mom and my motherhood really transformed everything into no, I cannot do this alone anymore.
Right.
I cannot do this alone. I need help, and not only with the kids, because this is another thing. Us as women, we are indoctrinated into we take care of everything else and everybody before taking care of ourselves. And the moment in my 40s specifically, because this journey to be here today, it has been coming since my early is that I really started to not to venture, but I really started swimming little by little in healing and this recovery process and recovering from my low self-esteem, low self-worth, and all and self-destructive patterns that I had that they came straight back from my childhood because that's all I saw. But the healing, I mean, the wounds are not our fault. There's this wonderful poet that she says that all the time, and it's so inspiring. She said, the wounds are probably not our fault, but the healing is our responsibility. And that keeps on shooting me in the heart like an arrow. And it's so true. It's so true. I mean, nobody can come to heal us. We got to do the healing ourselves. It's you, yourself, and you, but have the right people to be there for you through your journey. And it doesn't matter if it's a stranger, it can be a stranger. Okay. Not even family members. The family members can be like the worst thing that can happen to you in your healing journey because they have their own self-beliefs. They have their own beliefs from a million years ago. It's like, okay, you stay over there stuck. Okay. But
Yeah.
I mean, not going to be me, definitely. So yeah, the journey it can be a very dark one, and you got to go to your own darkness in order to see your own light, in order to make it to the other side. And it kicks your ass big time, but if you're willing to get out of that comfort zone for you, because we get out, oh boy, do we get out of comfort zones for others, but we
Yes.
don't for ourselves. But once you make that powerful decision and nobody's going to be cheering and clapping for you, it's going to be you and you will see things so differently. And definitely the rest does follow. Everything starts
Mhm.
falling into place around you because change, I mean, when you experience change, you don't need to say it to anybody for everybody to see it. That's a fact.
Wow. So tell us about the Wounded Healer. What do you do and who do you support and how can people reach out to you?
Absolutely. So, wounded healers, we are people that we embrace the darker seasons in our life in order to help others, in order to help others with whatever we have been in our lives. There's a pretty interesting story about the wounded healer in Greek. In Greek history, there was this soldier that he was hit by an arrow, and after not being able to go to war anymore, he became everybody's healer. He became the
Mm.
wounded healer. So it's a very interesting and very simple story that can be so impactful for others.
Mhm.
So with Wounded Healer, I offer services of massage therapy for humans, canine massage therapy for 10 years already, because canine massage is never about rubbing the dog. Canine massage is massage. Okay.
Mm.
We have muscle mass, both of us. We are mammals. So yeah, I wanted to like make that in the clear because a lot of people say, you don't need that. That is just rubbing the dog. And that's it. No, 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 it's not. Massage therapy and canine massage, they both come from very ancient times, 3000 BC and 2700 BC, actually, respectively. And I offer services of group fitness instruction for people 55 plus, for 55 plus communities. I am a retired dancer from 40 years of dancing, and I've been teaching for over 30 some more years as well. I'm a book co-author, I'm a speaker, TEDx speaker, and boy, this journey to the wounded healer has been a really phenomenal one. Is for sure a roller coaster ride, and I absolutely love it. You can see me in all social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm in TikTok. I'm just like everywhere. And my website is www.woundedhealer.us. Check it out. My phone number is there. Call me, text me. I am here for you. If you in any way or form want to break your silence and share your story in a respectful private matter, right? I'm here for you.
Awesome. Yes, we will put all the links in the
Thank you.
show notes. So tell us a little more about, women's health and what should women pay attention to as they start aging, right? Like you go from teens, like puberty, and then so on and so forth, with motherhood and then premenopause, menopause. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. We, as especially, I'm gonna talk specifically about us women. We are beings that hormones really dictate how our bodies work, and not only women but men as well. But specifically us in puberty, we're going through hormonal changes as we enter puberty. We have our first period, and all of those changes that are going on, which can be very confusing because we're very young. In my honest opinion, the more informed that we are about ourselves or how our bodies work, the more understanding we will be about the changes, and then the more, I mean, and it'll be much less confusing. That is for
Mhm.
sure. I love to talk about these things. And let's go to motherhood. When we are pregnant, okay, I have two kids myself. Our bodies go through massive changes one more time, or whatever times you are pregnant. And there's more hormonal changes going on. And if you are pregnant for a boy, it's different. Any pregnancy, and every pregnancy is different. Okay. No two
Mhm.
pregnancies are the same. All right.
Wow.
So with those organs that they move out of the way, isn't it amazing? We are so fantastic. Holy moly. I am so telling you. And this is powerful. So the way us women are engineered is so, I just love it. So when we get pregnant, all of our organs, the rib cage, including everything, move out of the way to make space for baby. And when we give birth, a lot of women get into postpartum depression because all of these organs are trying to move back to where they were. And they can be emotional imbalances because of all of the dramatic hormonal changes that our bodies go through. Okay. So be very aware of that. I had postpartum depression more for my daughter than I did for my son. For my son, I was fine. And then for my daughter, it was a whole different story. And thank goodness there is counseling for all of these. There's so many tools that we can use nowadays for that. So please be self-awareness is everything and self-care is everything. Your doctor won't do as well. I mean, your doctor is there for you to do recommendations and give you what you need, but the rest is up to you. That's why self-care is the best care, right? The more you take care of yourself, the better off you will be. So let's go straight to our perimenopausal and menopausal years, okay? So perimenopause is another hormonal change and is a drastic one, and this is the next season of our lives. What happens is this: estrogen and progesterone is a hormone that is around our bodies, okay? Specifically, estrogen is created in our reproductive system. When our period stops or starts stopping, means that the estrogen hormone is stopping working, okay?
Right.
And estrogen goes everywhere where is blood in the body. So estrogen goes to our brains as well. And that's when perimenopause starts happening in the form, and this hormone starts glitching out of your body. The body is starting to readapt to not having that hormone. Okay. And it readapts in the form of forgetfulness, sweats, itching, not sleeping well, being irritated, not wanting to take crap from people. So yeah, it's like the fuse gets shorter and shorter, and it's like in a way it's a beautiful thing. So after that, you go into full menopause. That is after, according to doctors, is a year after your period stops. You go into full menopause, and other changes happen, like the lines from our 40s. The lines are starting to show. The skin gets dry. The skin texture, it changes as well. And this is when we really need, it's our duty to keep on informing ourselves about these changes, because not any woman has menopause and perimenopause. No woman is the same to the other. You can hear many things from many experiences, and that, okay, maybe is good as a reference, but it doesn't mean that it's going to happen to you. And if it happens in a whole different way. So please don't compare yourself with other people's experiences, no matter what age we are. By the way, your experience is yours and your life is yours and is unique. All right. So after the menopausal stage passes, which may include losing your sleep, not sleeping well, hot sweats, too cold, all of these things, I'm here to tell you that is not the end of the world. And that's why so many millions of us make it to the other side. Okay.
Yeah.
Here in the Americas, unfortunately, in many cultures, we see it as the demonized. Okay. We are demonized. Our lives are over. You are annoying. You're not worth my time. All of these things. And your life is over. It's like, if you have any dreams and goals, forget about them because you're 50. No, that is the thing. No, that is not even close to what our reality is. The fact of the matter is, when menopause, perimenopause, and menopause happens, we're going through changes not only in aging, not only in our bodies, but we're going through changes in our minds as well. We are in a process of full-blown growth that takes us to a whole other level. And whatever crap that we used to take in our 20s and 30s, guess what? We don't take it anymore. All right. And change, that's when change happens. That's when relationships change, because we are beings of change. We cannot go without change. From the moment of conception to the moment of death, we are changing. I believe I'm on postmenopause right now. Okay. I just turned 60, and I can tell you this. I have grown more between my fifth in the last 10 years than I did in my 20s, 30s, and 40s combined. Even
Wow.
Becoming a mother was a huge change in my life, but I was very far from becoming. I didn't even have a clue of where my life was going versus where I am right now. It's like I know exactly where my life is going. And I cannot wait for the next season and to go through this dance of life with a very happy face, definitely. So please, women, ladies out there, it doesn't matter where you come from. When as we age, we become queens, we become matriarchs, we become councils, we become powerful women more than ever before. And please, let's use our voice for that because there's so many beautiful cultures that as women age, we are put more and more in a place where we are meant to be. So it's a real cool thing.
For sure. Thank you for sharing that. So,
Mhm.
as a TEDx speaker and educator, what message do you want? What message do you most want the world to hear?
I think, I mean, in these times around this planet, there's like so much kindness that needs to be like spread around the world. There's so much confusion with what is fake and what is real. And unfortunately, in social media, you won't really get all the information that you want to know. There is an overstimulation of too much information and it gets too confusing. It gets
Yeah.
too overwhelming. It's too overbearing. This is what happens when everything is so public that nobody knows when to have a private moment. Nobody knows when to calm down. Nobody knows at this time when to just like quiet down and go into that silence that is very much needed. So I believe that in this world, what we need the most is to calm the F down and kindness. Kindness, compassion. Be kind, man. It costs nothing and it can do so much for people, right? And it's for
For sure.
free.
For sure.
That's the best part, definitely.
Yes. So, what advice would you give someone who feels stuck in pain but wants to grow?
So for people that feel that way, take it one day at a time. All right. Please don't believe the fantasy that once you embark in a healing journey, you're just gonna heal and boom, and everything is perfect because it's not true. Okay. I believe that the healing journey, and this is, of course, my experience with healing, it has never been a straight line. That's another one that is not true at all. Healing is never a straight line. Healing is never a straight road. It's a roller coaster ride, man. And it gets wild and crazy. But if you know that you're heading after that roller coaster ride, that it calms down and it stops and it's better, definitely that is what I can call a healing journey. So for those of you that are feeling stuck, don't worry about it. Tomorrow is another day. Some days we are full blown survivors, and some days we're just surviving, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you. That is such great advice. So, what does the American dream mean to you today?
So, the American dream for me today means that I am being able to reach more people in more cultures because I love different cultures. This is why we're here in the US because there's so many cultures together in one beautiful place. I believe that I am able to progress because life is about progress, not perfection. And I'm always looking for that. And I believe that my American dream is about being a student, being a teacher, but more than everything is learning something so I can help others with what I have learned. That is my American dream.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your voice, your journey, your advice, and telling us more about your services. It was such a pleasure talking to you and listening to you.
Thank you, Anisha, for having me. This was amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. As we close this powerful conversation with Blanca, one truth stands out: healing is not accidental, it is intentional. Blanca reminds us that our wounds do not define us, but the work we do to heal can transform everything. And if you're building a business, personal brand, or healing centered mission that deserves to reach more people, my agency is here to support your growth behind the scenes. From building strategic, high converting websites to managing and producing your podcast to providing team and operational support as your platform expands, we help visionaries grow without carrying it all alone. because growth should feel supported, not overwhelming. This is Anisha Jennings reminding you that your American dream isn't just about success, it's about healing, growth, and becoming who you were meant to be. Until next time. Thank you for tuning into Your American Dream. I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world. Remember when I first landed in the US, lost and overwhelmed? Well, look at us now. We're building our dreams together. Your story matters, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. If you enjoyed our chat today, please spread the love. Rate, review, and share. Let's grow this amazing community of dreamers together. Want more? Catch my daily doses of inspiration on my Instagram @JenningsTechCorner. Also check out the show notes for more ways to connect. Remember, your accent is the voice of your ambition. Your background is your superpower. Let's dream big and achieve bigger. Until then, this is Anisha cheering you every step of the way.